there's a unicorn in the background here. Yeah, it's Bob. I have messy hair right now, and I literally just woke up, and I don't know why my cheek is doing that like that. But so today this was highly requested. It's about how to convince your parents to get you a horse. Many people think that you just have to pay for money and that's it, and they can live in your backyards or something. That's not really, it's all to it. That's not. First of all, you have to pretty much, like, you're going to have to care for the horse, and you're going to have to make sure you're there for your horse. And, like, dedicate your life to your horse, because you have to bond with your horse, or else it's never going to get used to you, and it's going to be really hard to ride. So, also, is you're going to have to know how to tack up a horse, unless someone in your family will tack up a horse for you, or something. But the number one thing, priority, is you're going to have to know how to ride. Be careful on what type of breed of horse you get, or, like, check its lip if it's a thoroughbred, because I have a weird story. I wanted a horse for my birthday, and my mom and older brother went to an auction, and they brought back me a thoroughbred. Well, my mom, pulled its lip down and looked, and its race number was tattooed on its lip, and it was really useless. And all it wanted to do was run. So if you're going to get a thoroughbred, they really like to run, but yeah, you're gonna have to be able to ride it and work with it. So also is, like, you know, what if your horse is, like, bigger than you and you can't get on? I would always recommend using a step stool to get on your horse. I'm staring at a cat. I would always recommend that, because it raises you up a little bit and you can get on easier. Also, you really want to have a special click with your horse. Like, you want to know your horse, and you want your horse to know you. I would give your horse, like, a day or so, maybe, and they'll get pretty used to you. For my horse, it only 2 or 3 hours when I first got in the pen with her, and yeah, and pet her and stuff like that. And then the second thing is, when you're riding bareback, another story, same time. On my birthday, I rode bareback on a gray Palomino, and there was a little boy that came over behind me that lived at the place that I was putting my horse at. And he's like, "Can I get on the horse also?" So I was like, "Yeah." And he got on the back. And what he did was shove me off, and I fell and broke my wrist on the concrete. So yeah, you're gonna have to be careful and make sure that you aren't anywhere near concrete, or, like, you know, like, I don't know, as long as it's, like, a really tame horse, but it was an old horse. So yeah, then also, here, Smokey, also, you are going to, like, you might want to start brushing its mane first and stuff like that. We went to another horse auction, like, 2 weeks after, and I went with my best friend Emma, and my brother and mom were bidding against each other for a paint horse, and my brother ended up winning, and so we got it. We put her on the gate thingy at the auction. It was a huge round arena pen you could ride him in, and I also got a black bunny that day. He was a wild bunny, and my best friend Emma and me were like, oh my god, we wanted to ride it. And so I started grooming the horse and stuff, and my mom went and bought me a like so pretty pink, kind of blinged out bridle. It was so pretty. I don't know what happened to that bridle. And then my brother got me a western horse saddle for my horse, Nevada, and it had a cross on it, and it had a person riding a horse on it, on the back of it, and it was really pretty. So I was grooming it, and then my mom bought a bareback saddle pad, so we put it on there. My friend Emma had no experience with a horse whatsoever. She was kind of terrified, so, but yeah, she rode behind, I think she rode in front of me, I'm not sure. You know, she rode behind me, and, it was really fun. The horse was really good, and that's when I had a broken wrist, and it was a really good horse. His name was Trigger. He was a paint. Also, you might want to, like, keep a halter on your horse, and, like, if it's saddle broke, you just need to ride it. It's not ride broke. You can put a saddle on it and stuff and jack it up. You can't ride it. I would recommend walking around, and then first try to get on the saddle. And if your horse tries to rear, tell him no. And also, if, like, let's say, so your parents aren't going to buy you a horse if you just because, like, most people will get a horse, and, like, one day later they won't care about the horse and stuff. If you're getting a horse, you need to promise the horse you'll stay with it, and you'll be with it every day that you can, possibly, and ride that horse. Because you don't want to betray your horse, because the horse only has you. That's all the horse has, is you. So, yeah. Also, most people that ride Western stuff, sometimes people will go in, like, flip-flops and ride, or tennis shoes. If you can't, I would highly recommend cowgirl boots or English riding boots, because tennis shoes, if the horse steps on the back of your tennis shoe, it's going to take your tennis shoe off, and it will most likely maybe step on your toe. And most people for Western, they wear, belt with a belt buckle, and yeah, so you don't have to. It's just to hold your pants up, I guess. So, also, the horse, you're gonna have to feed it unless you're boarding it somewhere and they'll supply the food and feed the horse. But yeah, like I said, you want to have a promise with your horse, and because you know, like, a horse, it doesn't have anyone else to do anyone except with a horse. And that's most parents won't buy their children a horse. The reason is because they know their children, they just want, like, a pony or something. They'll think it'd be so cool, and there will be no work whatsoever. But yeah, there is work. Saddling up your horse is not easy, and getting on a horse if you don't know how to is probably not easy either. And riding the horse if you don't know how to, it's not going to be easy either. So this is for parents. If your child wants a horse, I would first start them off with some lessons on a horse that's not theirs. But I would start them off on some lessons, so that way they'd learn the basics and stuff. Then, once they show that they really love the horse, and they, like, won't get tired of it in one day, and they just are so excited every day about riding, I think you should get your kid a horse. But you have to know that they're not going to, like, turn on the horse and be like, oh, I don't want you anymore. And stuff. So yeah. but most people, they tend to slap their horse. Slapping your horse does not get you anywhere. It just makes the horse scared, frightened, and angry, and that's when it rears. Some people always tell me this, and like they ask me this, what do we do if we pull too far back on the reins and the horse rears? I would try not to pull too far back on the reins, and the horse will back up. Because I've actually seen a lot of people on YouTube get hurt from that. And so, yeah. If your horse is unbroken and you can't break the horse, I'd recommend finding someone that could break your horse for you. That just sounds so rude. Breaking a horse, that's not, oh my god. But yeah. Also, you're gonna have to have the grooming supplies and stuff for your horse, because you can't just brush your horse with your hands and comb its mane and stuff like that. No. Most people that I know, they've always wanted a horse, but they like really actually do think there's not gonna be any work intended with a horse. If you want your horse to trust you, you're going to have to bond with your horse. Whether you like it or not, whether you're frightened, you're going to have to be tough and stop being frightened, because your horse can sense the fright when you're frightened, and then you're going to get on the saddle. You're going to have to trust your horse on it, because your horse will know if you have trust in it. If you don't trust your horse, well, I don't know. That's going to be bad. The horse and the owner have like a certain little trust bond and stuff. So people have been asking me, what do I do if I want a horse, if I have a horse but I can't find anywhere to board it and there's not enough room? Instead of getting rid of it, what I'm doing exactly is finding a whole bunch of stuff in my room to sell, and I'm going to raise money and find a place to board a horse and board my horse. My mom is fine with that, completely fine, because I'm going to be paying for everything for my horse. So yeah. Okay. So now we're going to talk about like the Western boots. This is what Western boots look like. They will genuinely have, I cannot say that, they will have spurs on the back. The reason I don't like spurs is because they dig into your horse and they cut your horse, and it's just really sad to me. So yeah. But if you like are writing English and your saddle comes loose because you didn't tighten it, my hair's sticking up, if you didn't tighten it enough, I'd recommend getting off the horse like as quick as possible, tightening the girth and making sure that you can fit at least one finger or two in the girth, and then you should be fine. It can't be too tight or you can cut your horse's circulation. There are a lot of people out there who will kick their horses, like they will kick their horse's legs. I've seen videos of that because they get mad at their horse. They'll take their anger out on their horse. If you're going to be mean to your horse, you aren't quite ready for a horse. Because, like, if you're gonna hurt your horse, it's pretty sad. Because when you hurt your horse feels lost and it doesn't know who to trust anymore. And then eventually, if you keep on doing that, it's gonna lose trust in everyone. And after that, it will start bucking and kicking and stuff like that. Here's a question I got. Okay, here's a question. What type of style do you like to ride? I mostly would probably say Western. So yeah. Next question. How much experience have you had with horses, and when did you first start riding? I first started riding when I was maybe 5 or so. Wait, no. I don't know, around 5. And like, it was because my brother's friend Mongo brought my other brother's friend, I think her name was Stacia, one of her thoroughbreds over, and I rode, like, I got to sit on the horse, and it was like in Blair, Nebraska, you know, like in the yard, and none of the neighbors like even noticed there was a horse standing in our yard at the middle of the night, and I was out there sitting on it, and then but they loaded it up and took it out. I really wanted to ride him though. And then I forgot. Okay, next question is, what type of breed of horse have you had most experience with? Thoroughbred. Because that's the first type of horse I've ever rode. And next question. How did you choose the name Nevada for your horse? I chose the name Nevada. I got it because I went to camp. It was a camp where single mothers' kids went to there, and the only reason I got picked to go there was because my friend Caitlin, her mom, was single also, and so she enrolled me in it, and so I got to go, and it's actually $100, but the leader paid $50, and we paid $50, and so we went there and stuff, and it was really fun. But one day our leader, Yayla, we were walking, we didn't know where we were, and we saw a barn stable up ahead, and we went riding. We tacked up the horses ourselves, and we learned all the basics and stuff. I pretty much knew most of that though, but then we got a ride, and the horse I rode was named Nevada, and she was a thoroughbred. And so I was like, oh, when I get home I'm going to tell my mom about this and stuff. And so I was like, Mom, please, I really want a horse for my birthday. And I pretty much already dedicated my life to horse riding, and my mom knew how much I loved horses, so she got me a horse. So they came back from the auction, and there it was, a horse trailer right in front of my yellow house with a thoroughbred in it and a paint for the other lady that we took my horse to stay at too. And there she was, a thoroughbred, and I went right up to the trailer and stood on the edge thingy and petted her. She was so nice and stuff. But then after that, we got there, my brother saddled her up, and he got on her, and she, like, all she wanted to do was run. I'm not sure if he ever got in the pen with her or not, but I'm not sure. But I went in the pen, I walked behind her, I went over there, and I pet her and everything. That's when she started showing great improvement, and we started bonding. You're going to always want to bond with your horse. Whether you want to or not, you're gonna have to. If your horse needs trust, if your horse is frightened of you, you're gonna have to gain trust some way. You're gonna have to spend time with your horse daily, and it will eventually get used to you. And then eventually she'll let you go around. She or he will go around you more much. And yeah. But if there are like different stables that you're riding at, and there's kids, like you're not riding your own horse and you're riding someone else's horse, like the stable's horse, and other kids start to ride the horse and you don't want to ride it and you can't ride it anymore because there's too many kids riding it. What I would always recommend is talking to the stable person. Once your parents think that you deserve getting a horse, I'd recommend the parents to talk to the stable person about buying the horse, and then the horse is your own. If you really love the horse, I'm pretty sure you'd do fine with it. Next question. Okay. Next question is, have you ever been, like, injured by a horse? No. A horse, never been spooked by me or whatever. For some strange reason, I have, like, a special bond with all animals. And, like, it's hard to explain, but I have, like, a special click with horses, and yeah. Next question. Okay. When did you first know that you loved horses? I've pretty much loved horses my entire life. I don't love horses for their looks. I love them because they're amazing animals, and you know, you're only what they have. They don't have anything else, they only have you. And they put a lot of their trust into you, and you put a lot of your trust into them. And they become your best friend. They won't mean to you or say anything bad about you or whatever. Next question. How did you convince your mom to buy you a horse? Well, I've always loved horses since birth. I've never stopped asking for a horse. And so one time I asked for a horse, and I wouldn't have got the horse if my brother wouldn't have dated this girl named Tina, because her grandma owned like a farm place where we kept my horse. And so I asked her, and they finally found a place to keep it for free, and so that's when they bought it for me. But I didn't just get it like that. My parents had to know that, like, I would stay with a horse, I would be with it everywhere, and that I was. If you want to see pictures of the horse, I'm pretty sure I have some. But yeah, and so what I'm doing right now, this is a good idea from us to you guys. If you guys have something that you don't want, and then it's kind of like expensive and most people really want it, you could like sell it and make some money. Like, if you have an American Girl doll, like Girl of the Year or a retired doll or something like that, you could always sell it for $100, and all you need to get is like $200 to $300. I'd recommend getting $500, because usually half the boarding where I live is, let's see, $125 per month, so that could pay for, you could pay for, maybe 3 or 4 months, and then you can like sell more stuff. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and blah. Bye. Once I click this.